Hi, all signed up for the Intro to Computing class. This is the final week of class, and I just wanted to go over some of the information that's on Canvas and then talk a little bit about the final presentation. Again, the final for this class is a PowerPoint or some kind of presentation. It doesn't have to be in PowerPoint, just some kind of presentation kind of following the examples that we did in class. Make sure that you look at the final project explained right here under lesson 11 here, and it kind of tells you the requirements. Of course, you need to have a title slide. Hopefully you can take the footer off there. In addition, you should have a footer on all the other slides except for the title slide with your name, copyright symbol, the date. This is date last saved. Usually if you put the use the footer, it will have the date last saved. So again, slide number, copyright symbol, and date last saved. You should, if you use any photos or images, have references to that. You could either do that next to by putting the photographer's name next to the photo in the presentation, or at the very end, you could just send me, like, make a works cited where you have a link to where you got the photos. You could just copy the web address of where you found the photo and put it into like a one page at the very end of the presentation. We could even call that works cited. You need a chart and a table, so both. So just like we did charts in Excel, find a chart and as well as a table like the samples we made in the sample presentations we did in class. Again, you can use any program to do that. Excel probably makes the easiest charts. I might even make it in Excel and just copy and paste it in there. Each slide must include one graphic that is different than that plain template. Basically, I'm looking for you to revise the template just so that you know how to use the slide master. Usually you saw in my sample presentations where I would just take a graphic and put it onto the slide, like a logo or some kind of graphic, and just put it on all the slides. You should have transitions between your slides. You should have at least one slide that has animated bullets, or it could be animated something else. I don't know. Anything that's animated. Animated bullets is easy. And then a link to a video, or I know the Mac version doesn't embed videos from the internet. I don't know. It's quite a challenge to show video, at least in the Mac version of PowerPoint. If you could just have a link to a video that's on YouTube, that is fine. Like I showed in the sample presentations that I have made videos for you. The topic is up to you. You can put it on any topic. A lot of students do things that they know best about, so you're kind of teaching us about something that you know. So think about that as far as what to include in your final presentation. There's some sample ones here. Again, these sample presentations here in last week's lesson, they don't include all the requirements. They have older requirements or so on. So just make sure you follow the list that I just explained to you. As far as the final topics that you see here on Canvas, most of them are rather, some of them are new, some of them are old. I would start here with lesson 11. So the things that would be on the final exam would be like, what is binary? I don't know if there's anything on the dark web, but if you haven't watched the dark web video, I highly recommend that. Copyright basics, you should know some of the basics of copyright, how much it is to copyright one item. You should know what the copyright website is. You should know what Creative Commons is. The reason why we have these here is so that I can talk about the using photos in your presentation, right? You need to use photos that you have rights to, and that's sort of why we talk about copyright. I think I have some other videos where I talk about copyright as well, so you should know that. Software development process was kind of, this is kind of older content we used to use in this class, but the software development process has kind of evolved in the past, 10 years, and there's no more, this cycle, water flow cycle and things like that. But you can watch the video here and Is any of this stuff on the final exam? What is the software development kit? Maybe what Apple, what do they use for building software? What software do they use? Xcode, Android Studio is the software they use to build apps for Android, as well as things like that. So basic things like what kind of software is used for developing software. So those things are there. Copyright software. JavaScript. I know I did some example of JavaScript. I don't know, that was kind of new to me. I should have, I'll revolve that, but again, that just to understand what the basic is. JavaScript and Java and JavaScript are different. You should know that, and so on. This week we had like China and the internet. We're social marketing media, and these are just readings that you have here. What is a Wi-Fi network? You should know what Wi-Fi is, just basically the Wikipedia. And then this is kind of older. I understand that this video is probably almost 10 years old, but it should know the difference between wireless G and wireless N, and what are the newest routers out there. So what is Wi-Fi? That would be good to know for the final assignment or final exam or quiz. Where was that at? And then the cell phone network. You should really watch the this video right here. Just basically it tells you about how the cell phone network works, and that cell phones use radio waves and things like that. Those are important things to know. And then the last one here is basically you need to know what an RSS feed is. There is a discussion on chapter 7 and 8 in the book. What is Java? I mean, above we saw JavaScript, but this is Java. This is basically, Java. You should watch the video. It kind of explains why Java is what it is today and why it's very important. Or at least, what are the benefits of using Java over other programming languages. Database information. This is basically, watch the tutorial of what is a database and what is a relational database. What is SQL and how that is used in a database. You should understand those, and at least watch those videos there. And then finally, that's pretty much about it. And then the latest thing, of course, is the Tim Berners-Lee's contract for the web. That is the latest, and you should read it. It's actually very good. I think the way that Tim Berners-Lee lays out how the web should evolve from what it is today, and the man who invented the web should be that person as well. Again, there'll be a final quiz the last week of school. I will post that for 3 days so that you have a chance to complete that. Make sure you upload your final presentation by December 8th, because I need to grade it before I turn it in. Before I turn in grades, so that's why it's due before the final quiz. So please try and turn it in on time, and hopefully that helps you explain the ending of the class.